As details of Lyle and Eric's abuse came to light, it became clear that their actions, while tragic, were the desperate response of two boys trying to survive the unspeakable cruelty of their father.
Welcome back to GMA3. That was the aunt of Lyle and Eric Menendez, joining nearly 24 relatives in calling for the brothers' release from prison. This comes as the DA is reviewing new evidence that could lead to Lyle and Eric's resentencing in that infamous case.
The two brothers are currently serving life sentences for the 1989 murders of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez. They have long claimed they acted in self-defense after years of abuse. And joining us now is Nightline co-anchor Juju Chang, who has been working on a special report that's actually airing today on Hulu. Juju, good to see you.
Streaming now on Hulu, that's right.
So tell us, what led up to this moment, and why does the family believe the brothers should be free?
You know, that 92-year-old aunt is Kitty Menendez's sister, and she has believed the brothers for years. In fact, I sat down with her daughter Karen, who told me that she, over the decades, have had weekly conversations with the brothers, and many of the cousins testified. Two of the cousins testified in the first trial that the brothers confided in them, that there was abuse going on, and so the aunt and the cousins really wanted to double down on all this public pressure that's bubbling up. All of the internet, social media obsession that is white hot right now.
Yeah, and you really sat down with a lot of the people who are in the midst of all of the decision making around this, the LA County DA being one of those people. You asked him if the brothers could potentially walk free. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
I believe, right, that given the totality of the circumstances, I don't think that they deserve to be in prison until they die, okay? I don't believe that.
Now, as the DA continues to mull over this new evidence, how much should we read into what he says here?
Kind of a lot, because he is the one who is either going to recommend or not a resentencing, which could lead to their freedom. And that's the thing. All of this public pressure is leading to real legal sparks of hope, and that's what we're looking at.
And speaking of pressure, the DA, the LA County DA, George Gascon, is up for re-election. So how is all of this playing into this case?
I asked him, a lot of people think this is political, and he said, you really think I'm conspiring with Netflix right now? And yet the timing is end of October, right before the re-election. A lot of people think, getting your name in the headlines is a good thing. But really, the family said to me, we don't want this to be political. We don't want this to be about politics. We want this to be an examination of whether the brothers have been reformed and been model prisoners, and whether or not there was real abuse and real mitigating circumstances which would justify their release from prison.
You also spoke with the brothers' attorney, Mark Garagos, about the timeline of how this could all unfold. Let's listen to what he said.
I watched the DA's press conference. He said he's going to make the decision. He said he's going to do it this month in October. My hope is to have him over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving dinner, how realistic is that?
There are two tracks. There's a court date in November, and there's another resentencing option that the DA has told me will happen in October. And so, that 92-year-old aunt says that her biggest wish is for them to come home in time for her 93rd birthday in November.
And it was surprising to me to learn that comedian Rosie O'Donnell is one of their biggest supporters. She actually calls herself their big sister.
Absolutely.
You spoke with Rosie. What did she say?
She painted a portrait of the brothers behind bars, that for 20 years they had exhausted their appeals, but they've gotten degrees. They've worked with hospice, with dying prisoners. They've started a green project. She talked about Eric's murals and the art behind bars, and all of this with no hope of parole. So in her mind, it really demonstrates a rehabilitation, which is one of the factors that the DA will consider when he looks at the resentencing. And you're right, she says, I feel like they're big sis.
What a story and a fascinating report. Juju, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And by the way, folks, you can catch that full report, Menendez Brothers, Monsters or Victims, from Impact by Nightline on Hulu starting today. The episodes will drop every Thursday, by the way.
Incredible reporting, Juju.